sacred slut and sensual soul. I am Isabelle, a cosmic creatrix, erotically existing. And I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to turn you on. And I'm going to help you to breathe and breathe life back into your feral fantasies. Today, I really wanted to talk real quickly. Well, not quickly, but wanted to talk about some things that I've recognized in my own life, which has really been helpful this morning specifically. So over the past couple of weeks, one of the main things that have been consistently coming up is about me and rest, and making sure I rest in real, consistent ways. That I show up for my body, that I show up for myself, that I love on my body, that I love myself consistently, right? Consistently. And in different ways. Sometimes it looks like sleeping in, sometimes it looks like waking up early and writing, sometimes it looks like dancing, sometimes it looks like going to the park and just sitting down and breathing, sometimes it looks like having a good conversation with a friend or my grandma or my sisters, you know? But while I was sweeping this morning, I was sweeping and I was noticing how easeful it was. Previously, or like about a week ago, when I was sweeping, I was in a lot of pain. Like my shoulders were in a lot of pain, my neck was in a lot of pain. Like I felt my legs were in a lot of pain. I was like really tired while I was sweeping, and today, this morning, when I swept, I was sweeping while cooking, because I was just like, this kitchen needs a nice little sweep. Let me just do it since I'm already in here, which is what I usually do. But this time there wasn't any pain. And I realized that the reason why there wasn't any pain was because of the fact that I truly allowed myself to rest and did not ask myself to suffer during the rest. And over the last couple of weeks, I've really been tossing with the feeling of guilt as it relates to taking rest and taking space and allowing myself to genuinely pull away and be taken care of and be loved on. And that's the other thing too, like being taken care of and loved on doesn't look the same way that I thought it would look when I was younger, right? When I was younger, I don't know if any of you ever read this book called Kept by Kat Madison on Wattpad. While I was in high school, me and my friends would come with the chapters printed out, ready to discuss, okay? It was a black woman, white man, billionaire, she's the secretary type of situation, nasty, raunchy, all that good shit that me in high school had no real business reading, but here it is, right? That story is a story that I feel like a lot of us, whether it was in that specific, format or not, a lot of us have this desire to be kept, have this desire to be taken care of, have this desire to be loved on and showed up for and all sorts of stuff, but we look for it in specific arenas, and if it's not in that specific arena, it doesn't count. And so one of the things that I've been praying for is to be more open with myself, to be more open with how I feel, and to be more open to receive. To truly be in a posture of receiving means not being so pressed about the way that the receiving comes. 2 days ago, I took a day off because I needed to rest. And that day I realized I'm getting paid to rest right now. because I'm using my paid time off, okay? So I'm literally getting paid to rest right now. How much of a privilege, a joy, and a blessing that is. That me resting does not mean that I'm no longer getting the income that I need to be able to take care of myself. Yeah, that's really what I wanted to come on here to tell y'all about, because I feel really empowered by this. When I initially decided to really restructure what I understood as sacred love, holy love, God love, agape love, I had to separate from the church. And the first thing that helped me to shift out of that was the pattern that I was recognizing of this suffering narrative that was preached from the pulpit. This idea that suffering is what makes you holy, that suffering is what leads to holiness. And I do believe that going without, like when you're thinking about like the yogis and the monks and different stuff like that, when you don't have, you get closer to knowing that you truly have everything, and that there is nothing that you don't need, that you need, that will not be provided to you in those situations, right? But it does not mean that you need to suffer through it. It does not mean that you need to be beating up on yourself during the process. It does not mean that the rest that you have been given is not deserved, even if it comes in a weird font. If it's rest, if it's the end result, it's the end result. You know what I mean? So, and that's a very interesting thought process. That's still something that I am continuously honoring within myself and figuring out within myself. Once again, I am Isabelle, a cosmic creatrix, erotically existing. I am here and I'm gonna make you laugh. I'm gonna make you feel nice and turned on, okay? I am here to help you breathe life back into your feral fantasies. And we're gonna be honest about this, okay? I know you liked what you saw today. I know you liked what you heard, so you might as well go ahead and follow me. Very much, go ahead. And if you want some more honest, frank, saucy conversations, head over to my Patreon, linked in my bio and or description, whatever. And if you so also desire my wonton writing, my lewd, sexy, slurp nonsense, good stuff is also over on Patreon. So I look forward to meeting you here as well as over there, because we gonna talk, baby. We gonna talk. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.